So we just saw Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and walking out of the cinema, I will say it was an incredibly somber experience. The ending was probably the best part of the movie for me. It hit everything I wanted the movie to hit in a 4-minute period. The ending was great.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie was a bit here or there. And I will tell you, people were coming out, some people were crying, some people were being super emotional, and others were saying, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
And it was mixed. Some people were saying the story wasn't good enough. Some people were saying the lighting was so bad.
Yeah, the lighting.
And while the story was okay, and they did as good a job as they could,
yeah,
the lighting was bad.
Yeah, the lighting ruined many shots. Not just like one or two.
Yeah.
There are, swathing parts of this film you're not going to see properly. I'm squinting to try and pick things up because I know that they would have done a good job with the set designs, with building out these worlds, and we just didn't get to see any of it. Right? And it was such a great shame because we wanted more out of that.
Yeah.
Like you're introducing some version of an underwater world.
Yeah.
We need to see it.
Big stuff. This is game-changing stuff for the MCU.
Yeah.
And you didn't really visually see it. It was so dark. It was so dingy. And it didn't need to be.
No.
Just light it better. It's the smallest thing can make the biggest difference. And I think that really hampered us watching this movie and a lot of people in the cinema.
Yeah, I heard people in the middle being like, can you see that? I can't
see what's going on.
Can't have that.
Not in a movie like this. I mean, there's too much stuff going on around the actors. There's too much stuff happening on screen for storytelling devices. You can't have the lighting be bad. But I think the story itself was good enough. I think that it's the second best movie of Phase 4.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man No Way Home is definitely by far the best movie of the Phase 4 era, and hopefully this era is put to bed, and this film was a good ending to it. But some of the other Phase 4 movies being absolute dog shit, being trash. So this was refreshing in some ways, but it was just also a bit too depressing in others.
It was very, very somber.
Yeah.
Like, they really did pay tribute to Chadwick's memory and to T'Challa's memory. But there were so many times in the film we came back to it. I personally cried a lot.
Yeah,
some people might have found that unpalatable.
A lot of people did.
Right? Because it was quite heavy. And I know these days especially, we're seeing Marvel films become very comical, where there's a somber moment and immediately there's a quip.
Yeah.
There weren't many of those.
Yeah, they didn't drill in the quips. Even though Riri Williams was in the movie, I think they handled her very well, and that was a shocker because I don't love the character. I never have. But the way they bled her through the movie and told her story in it, I think it was surprisingly well done.
Yeah.
I have no, disdain for the way they put her character forward. I'm good with it. I believe it. So that's 100%, I'm on board with it.
Absolutely.
The Shuri stuff in this movie was a bit hit or miss because of the fact that the motivations were so confused at times. And I know they were trying to tell a particular story in that case, but I think it just felt a bit wishy-washy with her.
I think they were going for the idea of someone who is mourning can't find who they are, right? And so we see that journey throughout. But I think they just needed a clear trajectory, and they did find one. It just took a while.
Took a long time. It took to the final 15 minutes of the movie. You could say that it felt earned. I think it just felt stretched out with that specific character point.
Yeah. I agree.
Namor was good. You definitely got the feeling that he was like an anti-hero or maybe an anti-villain. He was not a good guy by any means. It was, I'm going to protect my people. It was very Killmonger-esque in a lot of ways, the way they put him forward. And I think people are going to come out of this agreeing with Namor to some degree, just like some people, not us, came out agreeing with Killmonger in the first Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa's character, it was a big loss for the MCU and obviously in the film world and for his family. But I think that he will always have his mark on the MCU and, well, in the biggest movie franchise of all time.
Yeah. For
good reason, because no one else, I think, really could have played that role other than Chadwick Boseman. And it's just life, unfortunately. You can't get around it. So, Phase 4 come to a close, and I do think it's on the up and up. This was an up and up for sure.
Yeah.
Better than Thor: Love and Thunder, supposedly.
I think so.
Better than Eternals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's not touch Eternals. So this actually solid. I wouldn't say it's in A tier, S tier for the MCU, but I'd say it's B. It might get B.
Yeah, I would say
solid, but then at the same time, is it as good as the first Black Panther?
No. My opinion is that it isn't. I feel like Black Panther 1 has this rewatchability. This one, you can't just pop this on. It's too deep.
I just think there were so many things that were good with the movie, but there were a handful of things which didn't hit right.
I would say that the pacing was off. There was a lot of stuff that was pushed into this movie with characters, backstories, things like that. And I feel like Namor got a good backstory. We found out some stuff, but it also took time away from the Wakandan story, right? So it's kind of difficult. We did identify enough with him, but it still felt slightly off.
There were some characters that I wanted more of who were just not in the movie very much.
Yeah.
And Winston Duke stole every scene he was in.
Impeccable.
The CGI was better in this movie
Yeah.
overall. There were moments which were bad, but then that happens in every single Marvel movie. But en masse, I think there were some really visually interesting shots. They did things which we've never seen before.
Yep.
The way they made Namor's flight dynamics work, I loved.
Yeah.
I loved the way they visualized it. So solid, I would say 6.9, maybe 7.1.
I was going for a 7.1.
So no spoilers. That's it. We don't want to, ruin your movie-going experience, but we will do a full review going through certain things, and we will say that on a lot of the things, we were right. On a lot of the things. You can go through the teasers, the trailers, the reactions, and you'll see that she said things, that I said things that were absolutely correct. Because number one, we're geniuses. No. we just live this world. We think about it, we endorse it, and we want it to be great. We want it to be good, and that's why we give it the time. And thankfully, this film was good. So, go see it. Let us know your thoughts if you've seen it in the comments below, because we make a video every single day. So tomorrow, probably in all likelihood, be a Black Panther Wakanda Forever review. See you then. Skadoosh.